Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, there's a lot of speculation going around right now, so I just wanted to kind of give my thoughts on it. There's this kind of like new summoning crystal, which has been added to a raid on the test server. I showed you this in a video recently, but there's no news about it, right? There's no official news. Basically, if you click here, it's like there are no prism crystals at the moment. This is on the test server, and I was like, yeah, maybe this is going to be a different type of shard. Maybe it could be something like the equivalent of a sacred shard, but for void champions. That was my initial take. Well, anyway, as soon as they start adding these type of things to the game, or visuals in the game, the data miners start to get hungry and they start to mine. And something was thrown into my Discord yesterday, and I thought, well, I'll just share it with you. But there was also something, if you looked at the patch notes, which came out a couple of days back. This is the official raid patch notes on the Plarium website, and they go through all of the new stuff, which I'm currently playing around with on the test server. You come right to the bottom of it. It's just a one-liner. It's a one-liner, and it says, oh, let me get there. It says, you might have heard some rumors about a new resource. Stay tuned for more details in the in-game news. So that's pretty much what I was doing. I was staying tuned for more details in the in-game news. But Reddit guys have kind of beat us to it. So this was posted on Reddit yesterday, I think, from No Clock, whoever that is, one of the data miner dudes around in the community. So I guess whatever they're doing, they're already adding into game code, which obviously some people are able to read. All of the game code is client side on your PC. So if you've got the tools to read it, you kind of get a kind of heads up on stuff before it happens a lot of the time. So he's put here some data mined info on the prism crystal thingies. That sounds like a term straight out of my my book. Thingies, yes. So he's saying, and again, none of this is confirmed because Raid or the content creator kind of chat, none of this has come from there. So I can't say this is 100% real, but it feels like it probably could be. Okay. So he's saying there's a new form of summoning event that they're going to be doing. And it kind of backs up, actually, something which Cirilla said in Scratch's interview like a week ago or so, when he was asking about, summon rates, the fact that when a 10 times drops nowadays on non-voids particularly, but even voids, honestly, but for non-voids, if you've got a 10 times chance to get a champion, it's still extremely hard. Like, if you think about just Bannerlords, let's say Rhonda was on a 10 times chance to be picked up. Let's say only Bannerlords were available to be summoned. Well, as it stands right now, you've got what, like basically a 1 in 10, is it? Is it 10? Or no, 1 in 12. 1 in 12 chance to pick up Rhonda if it was just Bannerlords that were available. So if you were to throw a 10 times in here, then obviously your odds grow to almost like, instead of 1 in 12, well, it's like 11 in 22. Is that right? Yeah. So it becomes a 1 in 2. But the trouble with Raid, or the good thing about Raid, it depends how you look at it, is it's not just Bannerlords. You've got every faction. So the starting number of non-void legendaries is over 100. Well over 100 now, I think. And, if you throw a 10 times in the mix, you actually still only get somewhere like 6 to 7% chance of getting that legendary when you pull a legendary. Right, so first you've got to actually get the legendary, and then it's still only like a 1 in 6, 1 in 7% chance, which is still incredibly low. So we've always been saying as a content creator group, look, increase those odds, make it a 1 in 25 or even a 1 in 50 chance, because if people are specifically trying to get a champion to fill out their roster, then they probably want a better odds than like a 6 or 7% chance. So that's what we've been saying. And other games that I've played, they do this in a slightly different way. So Eternal Evolution had like a weekend banner. And on that weekend banner, you were guaranteed the legendary after you pulled so many shards. Okay, so they had it in a different way. I guess a bit like Raid do a guaranteed here and there. But some other games, they tend to do it more often, more frequently. Okay, so what they're saying here is new summoning event. During a summon pool event, you can summon from a unique pool of champions. So let's say, and it's probably quite accurate, I would say, they might be like the pool this week or this month or whatever is you can only pull champions from the Galen pack if you get a legendary or if you get an epic. Might just be, or it might be more tighter than that. It might be every legendary that you pull from these crystals will be a form of lizardman, which would be very cool. I don't know if they're going to go that minute, but if they do, then that would be extremely cool because, like I said just now, with the Bannerlords, it's almost like a 1 in 2 chance. No, sorry, it'd be like a 1 in 10 chance of getting the champion. So it just enhances the odds each time. They could even slim it down further than that and be like, you know what? These are the 4 legendaries that are available on this crystal event. So I don't know how they're going to do it, but definitely a more interesting, or I guess more guaranteed way of getting the champions that you want. So it says here, each event will have its own unique pool of champions that can be summoned. Champions of the same rarity have an equal chance of being summoned in those pools. Prism crystals are required to summon champions from the Prism Shard. So we don't know how to get Prism crystals. If it's just from spending, then I guess it will go down like a lead balloon because it will just be seen as another kind of like a different form of Kraken event or whale event. But we don't know that yet. When a summon pool event ends, and I'd imagine it's not, by the way, I'd imagine it'll be similar to, you know, when events just run and you can pick up fragments. I'd imagine it'll be something like that. So during a Prism event, there'll be different things running, like your dragon. Like I don't expect it's going to be a whole load of new stuff, but it'll probably be like you can farm some Prism from a dragon tournament. You can farm some Prism crystals from the arena at this point. Yeah, so it's almost like when fusions are not on, they'll probably do an event like this, I think. So it says here, when a summon pool event ends, any remaining Prism crystals will be automatically used and basically champions will be summoned and they'll be sent to your inbox. So it would be as if you're pressing the button yourself and they'll just summon them on your behalf. Champions will go to your inbox and that's that. What that means is you can't like stockpile Prism crystals for when champions arrive that you particularly want. That's an interesting take. It's probably, this feels like it's quite real, by the way. The way the mechanics are working here feels pretty real to me. Like this would make some sense because they don't want people just massively stockpiling these like we do ancient shards for guarantees. Like it feels like this is probably likely. If you do not have enough Prism crystals to summon a champion at the end of an event, you'll be able to use the remaining Prism crystals in future ones. Okay, so let's say you need at least 10 Prism crystals to summon an epic and you end up with 9, or you'll hold on to the 9 until the next Prism crystal event pops. And I'd imagine the min-maxers of this place, which will be a lot of us actually, we're all min-maxers, right? Will probably do that. They'll probably be like, well, I don't want any of these, so I'll just collect the 9 instead of 10 and hold on to a few for the next event. I don't know, man. It feels like, on the face of it, it's a cool idea. It gets past that kind of like 10 times event that we've been seeing a lot. I'd imagine it at most will be like a once a month thing that they now drop into the game. I don't know when they're dropping it in. I don't even know if this is totally real, but it reads like it has some validity to me. So let me know what you think of the idea. Let me know what you think. Like if they dropped it and it was still all Galen packs, so 4 factions were available, all of the epics, all of the legendaries were available from that group. So you're still talking probably the best part of 40 legendaries, you know, the best part of call it what, 16, probably the best part of 50, 60 epics. Is that now a tight enough group that it makes some sense to pull? Because I don't know, actually, if you think about it, if you're not getting a 10 times within that group, that still is actually extremely wide, isn't it? So you've got, if it was a whole Galen pact, call it 40 legendaries, and you've only got a 1 in 40, that's worse, actually, than a 10 times. That's worse, isn't it? So it would have to be slimmed down much further. Like, you know, you would definitely get one of the Lizardmen. Or this is a pool of 5 legendary champions that you will definitely get this weekend. Would be better. So I don't know. It depends how they do it. Until we get some official information, we can't really judge it, I guess, because what they won't want to do is make it super easy for Krakens to just +4 their favorite arena champs. They won't want to do that. It makes no sense to their business model for them to do that. Okay, and it actually doesn't really make a lot of sense for game longevity either. People get bored if they've got everything they want. So I don't know how they're going to play this, but I guess will be a bit of a wait and see. But that's all I know so far. I've been Hell Hades. I'll catch you later.